Natural Podcast. We bring awareness of sustainable health in the business hustle space. Natural Podcast is perfect for the high-performing, business-minded individuals who want to work with their biochemistry to achieve success and optimal health. It's Friday, which means it's time for friends sharing facts about health, business, and overall success. In today's episode, we talk to Melisa K. Melisa is a USA registered dietitian as well as a certified dietitian nutritionist by the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics. She serves as the chair-elect for the international affiliate of the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics and received distinguished leader awards for her work. Melisa is the nutrition and wellness expert at Vivoo. She's passionate about speaking about wellness, accessibility to features that help connect users to their bodies. Vivoo aims to improve the overall wellness of users by offering simple, practical, and at-home test services. We all know that by being busy, we can overlook many aspects of health. Vivoo looks to empowering clients to create long-lasting health and lifestyle changes so they become their own nutritionist. Some interesting facts about Melisa is she enjoys studying herbal and natural medicine. She's creating sustainable and cruelty-free natural health, beauty, and body products, and is an avid swimmer and overall sports enthusiast. Welcome to the Natural Podcast, Melisa.
Thank you. Thank you for that beautiful introduction, Mihaela. It's very nice to be here.
You are most welcome. So tell me about swimming and the other sports that you're into. You've been swimming lately, or is it too cold?
Lately, it's been too cold on this side of the world, but I know where you are, it would be perfect. If I was there, I'd be swimming every day. It's my favorite sport.
Yeah, 100%. Any other sports that you enjoy, Melisa?
I love any kind of sport that I believe our body was made to do naturally. And my body, I'm very good at endurance sports. I think we think of sports as this huge group of activities, and for a lot of us, it scares us. But I always tell my clients and also my friends that there are so many different types of sports. There's endurance, there's more short sports like sprinting, running, or weightlifting. I love endurance. So swimming, yoga, walking, slow running, dancing, all those are my favorite physical activities. And what about yourself, Mihaela?
Yeah, I love that you included what our body is supposed to do.
Yeah.
It's funny, interesting that you asked. One of my probably favorite sports is walking, if you want to call that a sport, because it's what our body is made to do, and I do it every day. And if we continue doing it, it helps so many aspects, doesn't it?
Yes. It makes you actually live longer. A lot of sports that we do today, which are trendy, are really fun. You have to try a Soul Cycle class, fall off the bike, like in that movie, Beautiful. And you also, or Bridget Jones, or you have to, also do some kind of a HIIT workout. You have to try these workouts, but research shows that the best sports are the sports that actually increase your lifespan and that you can do when you're 90, 100 years old. And I think we can walk. I hope to. So I'm glad that you like walking. I love it too.
Yeah, it's so true, and I love that you put the research behind it. And I mean, look, lifting weights and things like that is also highly beneficial for longevity. But yeah, not the biggest fan of swimming. I don't know if that's because I live in Australia and it's surrounded by sharks and some other, animals that I'm not aware of, but yeah.
Yeah, I feel like Australia, everyone kind of is afraid of the animals there. But besides that, you guys have the most warmest hospitality in general. So besides the sharks, I think when I think of Australia, I just think of very happy people. And so I want to visit very soon. And if I do, maybe I'll go swimming, but in an indoor pool of a hotel.
That sounds like a plan. Melisa, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure.
At the moment, you're working for Vivoo and you're assisting them to achieve their goals and so forth. But what has led you to where you are today?
Sure. So, I think we were talking about this a little bit before we started recording. I'm a big believer in creating your own life. And, for some people, this might sound like a little bit spooky or far-fetched, but I really do believe that we're greatly gifted in the life we're given, but I do believe we take an active role in adding to it and creating more different parts to it that make us happy and satisfied at the end of the day when we put our head on our pillows. So I've always been very, very interested in helping people. I think I'm naturally gifted at it. I always felt that I could kind of sense what people needed. And I was studying psychology for a long time, Mihaela, and I love the picture behind you where it shows the brain and the heart connected. For me, that's a big, I believe in emotions and the study of our thoughts and beliefs. And when I was studying psychology, I wanted to be a therapist for a long time. I was actually doing research at Johns Hopkins Medical Institution because I was studying as an undergraduate at Johns Hopkins. And I was very interested in neuroscience and psych. And then when I was doing research on children actually with ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, I was noticing in their intake forms, because there I was, obviously 19, 20, and when you're doing research, 18, 19 years old, and like one of the most prestigious hospitals in the world, you're doing a lot of the paperwork. So I was reading intake forms and I saw a commonality. I thought, wow, these kids, they have a lot of, artificial food in their diet. Whether it's candies, so they're having tons of high fructose corn syrup, high fructose glucose syrup. They're having a bunch of artificial dyes, food colorings that are unfortunately allowed in the USA and not allowed in other countries. And I realized that maybe that was what was contributing to their unstable levels of attention devoted to important activities such as homework. From there, to make a long story short, I got really interested, spent tons of time in the library, either on my laptop or actually going through physical books, which is like probably very unheard of for today's time, right? Like going through books in a library. I became obsessed with how food and lifestyle affected our emotions and our ability to succeed and be happy as a person. So I pursued nutrition and dietetics. I thought that this is the perfect study for me. It's a combination of emotions, words, a little qualitative and a little bit of quantitative. At the end of the day, we do calculate as dietitians your macros, micros, calories, kilos, everything. So I put in my mind that I would become, the best dietitian possible in my ability. So ever since then, I've been in school for at least, I would say, 15 years. And now I'm doing my PhD actually in nutrition. So kind of a quick summary.
What a story. And I love that you found a link with those kids. And it's like, okay, their attention isn't as probably it should be.
Yeah.
And then, you took those intox forms and you found out that, okay, cool, they're having all these colors, they're having all these artificial foods, glucose syrup and so forth. And it's like, wow, that may be affecting them. And I can just imagine running down to the library, getting all the books out, looking at it. And it's like a mind-blowing thing that happened in your brain. Like, oh my gosh, there's a link.
Yeah, no one's telling you about it. That research came out later. And I was just like, whoa. So yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. And then you're like, I'm going to study it and I'm going to become the best to understand how things happen. And I love that you started with the brain and then you've gone into the gut, as you can say, if you want to figure out how things are happening.
Thank you. Thanks for that. I love that you said that. I didn't realize it because I always tell everyone your brain, your gut are linked. Your gut is your second brain. So thanks. Now I'm going to be like, that's how it started with me.
It started in the brain, now it's in the gut, and I can interlink them all together.
Exactly. One big happy family, yeah.
No, that's absolutely amazing. I love that you share that with us. Let's talk about today's topic, quick and easy health check via Urine at home, how we can use self-tracking devices for better understanding our bodies and improve our overall wellness. At home testing kits and so things are going to be the future and it's coming in forward and Vivoo's at the front of it. Can you give us an explanation of what Vivoo is?
Sure. So Vivoo, which is, always a fun word to say again and again, is a urine test strip. And I'm going to hold it out just so people can see because, we have so many different ideas in our head. And you get mailed these packets. And basically the way it works is it tests your body's urine to understand how your body's functioning in 9 different parameters. And those are used. The idea behind this was really created by, engineers, and it's a female-run and owned company, just to really measure understanding how your body is doing on a daily basis. So, we do have urine versus blood tests, and, it can get confusing.
I love that you're able to just do it at home.
Yeah.
So essentially it's a strip.
Yes.
And you pee on it.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Or you can pee in a cup and dip it in. Is that right?
We suggest for you to pee on it and for you to urinate on it just for like around 3 seconds. And, so basically the way it works, Mihaela, is like when you wake up, our first instinct is to go, obviously, urinate, which is great because, your body, while we sleep, we detoxify all our organs. So we hope that everyone wants to go to the bathroom in the morning, especially if you're hydrating well. And then that urine can be really concentrated. So we recommend for everyone to use their second or third urine. And you can also do it, you can technically do it at any time of the day, but a lot of our clients like to do it in the morning. You can do it and then you just would be consistent. So because urine is a daily monitor, because if you think about it, our bodies are changing every day. We're really unaware. We usually notice when we are feeling sick or when, we have a rash or when we have gained weight after or quite a bit, but our body communicates with us every day because it really doesn't want to get sick. It really wants to decrease inflammation. And our body is reactive to our diet and lifestyle every single day, actually every single hour, every single minute, every single second of the day. And as a result, urine tests are an amazing, fantastic way to look at real-time data of today. So, just to elaborate a little bit more if I can, this morning I drank quite a bit of water when I woke up, which is great. Yesterday I didn't because I was traveling. And as we all know, airplanes in general can be dehydrating on their own. And traveling, your sleep schedule is kind of messed up. And I wasn't drinking enough water because the hostess she just was really far. And I kept on being like, please. So I was really dehydrated.
Yeah, that always happens on the plane. I always tell people, ask for water. And they're like, I just feel awkward. And I'm like, just ask for a big bottle or carry a big bottle with you.
I know. I usually carry a big bottle with me, but just like, I had so much stuff with me that I just was like, I can't carry that, which is like the last thing you should never, for all our listeners, always carry your water. Like, don't, do what I did and buy clothing instead. Like, use your extra weight for water. No, really, because you're going to look terrible in your clothing the next day when you're dehydrated. No, really. Like, I was so dehydrated on the plane yesterday, so I did a Vivoo test, and what I love is that it shows you your real-time data. So yesterday I was really dehydrated. My hydration score was quite low. We can talk about that in detail after. But today, I just had a test right before this podcast because I like to monitor my health every day. And my hydration was really good because I hydrated a lot before I slept, when I woke up, and I had a very water-rich breakfast of fruits and vegetables and a green smoothie. So my hydration score was optimal. So, it really shows you those real-time data. And I'm a dietitian, so I'm monitoring myself and hundreds of people every day. But for a lot of people who don't, have the ability to really connect those dots, I think Vivoo can really help you connect with your body because you're like, wow, my hydration score is low. What can that be? Think. Oh, I didn't actually drink water. Oh, wait, I actually generally don't drink water. Wait, how can I drink more water? And what's awesome is the app will give you recommendations. It'll be like, hey, Melisa, or hey, Mihaela, your water intake is really low. We recommend you to not just drink water, but eat water-rich fruits and vegetables, carry a sports bra. I'll give you bunches of tips. So it's really great in, giving you real-time data for every single day.
Yeah, and I love that you have it at home. I mean, when we think about it, if we're not feeling so well or something along those lines, we've always been told to go to the doctor and get a checkup, but you have to wait at the doctor's office or make an appointment, pay for that appointment,
oh my God,
wait for the data to come in for 7 days or so for a blood test.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot of money spent, but also a lot of time lost.
Yeah.
And that should be used for, emergencies when need be. But you've got something simple as peeing on a stick to find out how your body is going internally. That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I think if we think about it, that's how it is today. Can you imagine what it was like for our parents' generation? You had to call up, make an appointment, go there, and you would get your blood data done. Sometimes not every year, unless you were doing something like for an illness or pregnancy, etc. But with blood tests, and just in case our listeners are curious, sometimes this can be a question with the app, is that they really want to understand the difference between blood versus urine tests. And if you want, I could explain it in detail.
Yeah, let's go into it.
Okay, so I mean, what we our blood is a fluid, right? Just like our urines are both fluids. So these are both tests using fluids, but our urine is basically what our kidneys. So when we eat food and first it passes through our mouth and then our esophagus and then our stomach and then our intestines, etc. And our kidneys are also filtering out a lot of things like minerals and proteins like our amino acids, and also it's really regulating our hydration status. So our kidneys will have excretion waste, just like our feces are waste. Our kidneys will also excrete waste, and that's actually called urine. And urine is usually less scary to look at than fecal matter. You can also do fecal samples. It's also another type of test, but urine is much more fun to do. Let's be polite. So with urine tests, it measures what your body is filtering out every day. Now, if we were to look at blood, our blood tests, like you were saying, Mihaela, take so much longer to take, and you have to make a reservation and go to a lab because essentially a needle is drawn, right? Unless you are doing like a glucose monitor at home blood prick test for diabetes. When you go to the doctor and they take your blood, they send it to an independent or associated laboratory to do analysis on your blood specimens and look at the different particles inside your blood, like your hemoglobin, your hematocrit. And it's more looking at levels in your body for a longer term. Like you can look at, your sugar for today, but you can also look at your sugar for 3 months, your glycolated hemoglobin. You can look at your iron. You can look at other levels and your hormones. So it's going to be a more deep analysis, but it's meant to be done for a longer term. So I think that Vivoo is fantastic if you are looking to improve your overall wellness, because if you and I if I say, hey, Mihaela, let's go to Croatia, let's stay in like a cool vegan detox resort and
let's go.
Okay, yeah, I'm ready. And we do green juices and we go running and we're super healthy and we go there for a month. We just camp out. Yeah, of course we lose weight, but forget it. I always say as a dietitian, everyone's focused on weight. Think about how your body would benefit of just taking a break and being in nature and really connecting to your mind. Your inflammation would go down, your hydration would go up, your vitamin C would go up, your magnesium, your calcium. I think the best way to see from something like that, or just even starting to go to the gym every day, would be a urine test. Whereas a blood test, not only is it harder to book, but it wouldn't show until months later because your body is less reactive in those terms. But with urine, it's amazing for monitoring your day-to-day efforts in improving your health.
Yeah. So when we're going to that retreat, we're going to bring the Vivoo test
oh my God,
daily,
totally.
right?
Yeah. We love that. And shout out to all our users who already have tried our product. We love when you share with us, communicate. Vivoo has a community on Facebook. And also we have a big, amazing Instagram profile. So if you are like Mihaela, when we're there, we are going to take selfies, just FYI, and post. And also, just besides selfies, just share in the community. We have a whole community page. It's awesome. It's I answer questions there, and our whole team does. Our team is all by health professionals, so we all monitor everything. It's created by doctors and dietitians and nutritionists, and we all look at, if someone's like, hey, I'm really trying to improve my pH score, why is it not going up? We think, maybe it's this in your diet. So we all really help each other. So when we go to that retreat, we can also post in that group as a, motivation.
That's amazing. It's done. It's happening.
Yay!
But for the audience to understand about Vivoo test a little bit more, what are the parameters it actually measures? You've said pH level, you said magnesium, calcium. Let's just give the audience a bit more information about what it actually tests when you do pee on the test.
Yeah. So it's so just for everyone, it's an FDA approved, urine test strip, which is a really big deal, right? So it's been approved by the USA, Federal Drug Administration for these 9 parameters. And I'm going to start. So we talked about magnesium, calcium. These are 2 minerals that usually go hand in hand. I'll start with those. So magnesium and calcium, we hear a lot. We've all heard about calcium since we were born, just because the food pyramid really does encourage us to increase our calcium intake. So you can do that with dairy. But you can also do it with leafy greens. There's a very, very large variety of calcium-rich food. I just made tahini cookies last night. Tahini is very high in calcium too. So calcium is really looking at the minerals that are making up your bones for your, osteoclasts, your osteoblasts, and it's really important to monitor your calcium intake at all ages, but especially as we do age. So we encourage on the app when we look at your calcium score to not only improve your intake of calcium food depending on your dietary preferences, and that's what's also amazing about the app, Mihaela, is that like for each parameter, let's say it's your calcium level is low or your pH, we say, okay, you set in your preference that you want to be ketogenic. So we would recommend you to have this for calcium, or you want to be pescatarian, et cetera, et cetera. So we do look at calcium, that's number one. And number two, we look at magnesium. So those go hand in hand. Magnesium is another mineral which has gotten so much popularity. I feel like, I don't know, Mihaela, have you been hearing it more and more like these past couple of years?
Absolutely everywhere. And I'm glad it is, because it's used for like 300 different enzyme functions in our body.
Important.
It's necessary for all of the cell things to function. So if we're low in it, there's issues that are going to arise.
Yeah. I mean, all these minerals and just in general, all these health vitamins, etc., they were discovered by scientists. But I always tell people, I'm like, we're still discovering science every day, right? So there's so many more minerals and vitamins we don't even know about. So please, everyone, try and be healthy, because it affects you in so many ways that we're not even aware of. So magnesium, we definitely are aware of. And as you said, it affects so many different functions in our body. And I think one of the most popular functions that I would focus on for just individuals that are applicable for today's life is that magnesium, number one, helps your body reduce stress by kind of decreasing tension, and it can be headaches. Some people have lockjaw, like when they sleep or they chew a lot. Magnesium really does help your muscles relax, and it's deficient in most of our soils just because of the way the farming and agricultural revolution has been proceeding. So it's really important to make sure that you're monitoring it, and if possible, supplement, because it will help your body's muscles relax, number one. Number two, as I mentioned, it can help decrease migraines. It can help decrease menstrual cramps, according to research. It shows that not just for premenstrual women, also for menopausal women, it can really decrease symptoms. So if you are a female experiencing menstrual cramps and you're listening to this podcast, firstly, do not, ignore that. That is your body communicating to you. So of course, work in detail on maybe why that is, and a nice solution for, the pain that you're feeling right now would be to take magnesium. It's a very nice way to help your muscles in general relax. It can also help decrease constipation, because our intestines are also muscles, and when you're constantly stressed all day and holding yourself, or if you're unable to use the restroom for a long period of time, your sphincter and most of your digestive tract kind of feels that. So taking magnesium can help to relax, in general, a lot of muscles in our body. So those are two that we... Yeah,
and we forget how important it is to go to the bathroom and release.
Oh my God, yes.
I mean, it's a toxin that we need to release every single day.
I'm so happy
and whoever
you say that. I'm so happy.
And whoever says you're not supposed to go every single day, there is an issue right there.
Yeah. I think individuals, and I do believe that I've seen this in cultural or maybe even gender-based difficulties. It is a private thing to go to the bathroom. Of course, we don't do it in public, but because it is private, we also don't talk about it when it's not functioning well. Just like all things that are private. So, Mihaela, you're right. We do have to go to the bathroom every single day. Actually, multiple times a day. If anyone has a dog or cat or animal, you feed them, they go to the bathroom, because what's happening is the food that's been previously digested and assimilated and eliminated, etc., gets pushed out, just like at the traffic jam, right? It's like your tomatoes finish, you buy new tomatoes. Your body wants to constantly not hold on to anything and constantly release. And sweat, feces, urine, we all hold these in because we don't want to smell.
And we all do it.
And we all do it. We don't want to look like we pee a lot, especially like I was saying on the plane yesterday, or if we're in a meeting, we don't want to say, I need a break. But these are all our body's ways of not holding on to toxins. So please, everyone, address that issue. Work with either an enterologist or a dietitian, but digestion is really the key and root to many different manifestations of illness in the body. So we do look at
100%.
magnesium. And then our third, I would say, is hydration. We touched a lot on that before. So just hydration, it's like, for me, I was so confused because I felt like I was constantly drinking water and I would be dehydrated, but I realized it was more about the type of water I was drinking and my electrolyte status. So Vivoo really helped me connect with that because I was not adding any salt to my food. As a health nut. So that's the fourth
I love
parameter.
this.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you mentioned that. Just because you drink water doesn't mean you're hydrated. Yes.
Yeah, it's kind of like when you're eating a salad, you're not really getting the vitamins. Maybe the salad was genetically modified, or the produce was washed with bleach or chlorine, which is commonly done for restaurants, etc. You really need to understand that what you're putting in your body, we hope for, and I'm not trying to demotivate anyone, but it really helps you get close into understanding that quality does matter. So not just quality, but the science behind it. Like I do drink, everyone will say that I'm like a camel. I drink a lot of water. So my body type requires it because I also work out a lot and I sweat a lot. But I was not putting any salt in my food, Mihaela. I don't know if you were not also. So I was like, salt,
yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it's like demonized, right? And especially in dietetics, it was like, even though I'm from New York and I went to the most modern education, etc., we still had literature from the past where it was like, fat is bad, salt is bad. And even though, like, I know that fat is good for you, good quality fat, and salt, I still was a little bit careful with it because it's just part of the education. And then once I started putting salt in my food, I realized that with Vivoo, by checking out my sodium, which is our fourth parameter, I was like, oh my God, I can see again. Like, wow, like I didn't realize how low my blood pressure was by
wow.
Yeah, like it really, really picked me up the same way sugar did. And actually, I have a huge sweet tooth. I realized that replacing it with salt or salt-based foods really helped. So just people who are listening to this, like, not everyone needs to add salt to their food. Just so, as a dietitian, we always have to be like, by the way, just because, you might be eating out a lot, or you might be eating food that's naturally high in salt, like chicken or processed or packaged food, anything from plastic, basically. But I eat tons and tons of vegetables, so of course I have to add salt to my food. And we actually have a really good speaker who's an expert on salt, Dr. James. So if you are on Vivoo's,
yes, 100%.
Have you seen
love
him?
his work. Yes, absolutely love his work.
Yeah, he's really good because I think he's like the expert of salt, and it's really cool when someone's the expert of anything because they've really read and understood so many different approaches to a topic instead of just knowing a generalized topic that they were educated for in their school. So he really talks about how salt is really underlooked and it's really ignored. And you can't, I personally think it's because you can't really make a lot of money off of salt. And I think that mostly, unfortunately, nutrition, it's more about what you can make money on. Like, you can make a ton of money on selling bottled water with electrolytes, or, selling
it's natural, right?
Supplements. Yes, salt is natural. What is salt? If we are swimming in a beautiful salty sea, we feel it on our skin, or sometimes you'll see it left over in your skin. It's literally crystals of different minerals. So salt is a combination of different minerals. Mainly it is sodium and hydrochloride, but mainly it's sodium, and that will be, with the symbol Na, that will be present in all lakes and basically mineral-based areas. So like we'll have like Himalayan salt or pink-based salt, and people are like, why should I get the pink salt, Melisa, or should I get the white salt? And I'm like, great questions, guys. So we do have I think it's best to use salt in a crystal form, just because you can freshly grind it, and I'm all into freshness. And then you can also use iodized granulated salt, which is what's most commonly found in restaurants and homes if you were to open someone's cupboard. And that's just basically sodium that has been salt that's been unfortunately granulated and then bleached. And that's why it's super white. And when you bleach anything, as we know, you have to add the nutrients back into it, and that's why they add iodine back into it, iodine or iodide. And that's just because a lot of research was showing that when they were bleaching the salt and not adding iodine, people were having iodine deficiency and actually developing goiters, which is like enlarging of your throat area. So people were kind of freaking out about that, and then it became a U.S. mandate to iodize salt that's been bleached. So if you use natural rock salt, it will not have iodine added to it, or iodide. But it will have it present in itself. So just for all those users who check that out. We also look at vitamin C, which is another super popular,
and so important. I'm so glad you guys check that out.
Yeah. Have you monitored your vitamin C with Vivoo by any chance?
I'm going to talk about my results soon. Once we talk about all of the
cool.
parameters that we're measuring, we're going to compare, because
Awesome.
I just did one before the podcast.
Yay! Oh my God, perfect. That's great, because I've been using it, but I want everyone to hear different sides, and that's great. Thanks for doing that. So we'll talk about your vitamin C. That's another one we look at. And vitamin C, it's ascorbic acid. It's a water soluble vitamin. What does that mean? So we have our fat-soluble vitamins, that's vitamin A, D, E, K, and then we have our water-soluble vitamins, which is vitamin C, and then all the B vitamins, like a bunch of B vitamins. And then vitamin C is very important just because it does regulate our immune system functioning, and it helps to decrease inflammation, and it also helps to work as a free radical scavenger. So basically in our body, constantly, while you are listening to this podcast, listeners, and while me and Mihaela are talking, inside Mihaela's body, my body, our cells are constantly trying to fight off free radicals. And free radicals can actually naturally occur in our body, even if we were living in the most remote, beautiful place of a blue zone. Our body would naturally encounter free radicals. However, in the living conditions that we live today of not just modern lifestyle and stress, but also radiation, also chemicals in food, or just inhaling a little bit of secondhand smoke, or just any kind of toxin, our body tries to immediately oxidize it and basically scavenge it. So it uses that by using an antioxidant. And the antioxidants will work to neutralize and give their oxygen to neutralize the free radical, and then that will help to decrease the amount of inflammation and stressors in our body. So that's why when people say, I was tired and I got sick, or I was traveling and I got sick, it might not just be that they were tired. It might also be that their diet didn't have a lot of vitamin C rich fruits and vegetables or foods, because you can be very tired, but if you're having the right nutrients in your diet, it's kind of like having really good friends that protect your back no matter what. So even if you're tired, they still got your back. Yeah. Your vitamin C will protect you. So if you travel a lot.
Love vitamin C. Absolutely love vitamin C. If we understand what it does in our body, it's not just immune, it's skin, it's so many things. You would be ensuring that you have enough vitamin C in your body.
So many things, even like fertility, like it's connected with all of these. And I mean, all things, like especially like just touch on fertility for a sec, because that's also, a lot of our Vivoo users do use Vivoo to improve their fertility. All of our body's health functions are overall working to improve longevity, help us propagate more, right? Because our body wants to create more offsprings, and also make us feel happier throughout the day. So having more hydration, vitamin C, magnesium, all of these are going to help your overall lifestyle and overall life conditions and feelings of happiness, fertility, longevity. But vitamin C, and you were talking about how important it is. It really is, and that's why nature made it abundant in so many different fruits and vegetables. All fruits and vegetables have small amounts of vitamin C in it. Some have more, like peppers or kiwis. They have very high, high amounts of them. But it's really present in all fruits and vegetables, and it's really important to have every day, because it is a water-soluble vitamin, and we do urinate it out, the excess. And if you don't eat a lot of fruits and vegetables, either because you're just transitioning newly, or if you're exposed to constant stress, I would encourage you to also supplement. And although Vivoo always encourages food first, which is what I love about it, because most apps don't, just to be honest, because they would always tell you to supplement right away. Vivoo encourages you food first, lifestyle first, and also, in addition, you can supplement. And we have a partnership with Vitamin Lab, which is fantastic because it looks at your Vivoo results and then it makes you a custom formulated vitamin. So
it's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It's
and
fantastic.
I love the fact that it talks about food first.
Yeah.
Because everything we're spoken about is kind of like, go back to whole foods. Let's go back to foods that we're supposed to be eating. And then if need be, the supplements, not demonizing supplements or medication at all. It's just, let's look at foods first and then supplement if need be. So I love that. That's their motto.
And that really shows how the app honestly really wants you to improve your health, because it's not focused on profit as much as it is really focused on helping you connect to your body and improve your health. Because in the end, what's going to happen is your health is going to get so good and you're going to get in such a good health lifestyle that you're going to be able to heal yourself. So we really, that's what we want in the long run, long term. We don't want you to be users. I have optimal health and I still monitor my health with Vivoo, but we want you to be basically healing your own body. So that's our main goal. And then connecting with your own body, understanding what's happening, kind of to be responsible. I think that's really cool. I feel like that's this whole biohacking trend of the 21st century. Like you have your Ring, your Fitbit, all these different devices, which are kind of connecting you to your body and helping you become your own doctor and really learn more about your lifestyle, like your stress levels, your fertility, your sleep. And you're like, wow, I didn't realize how important sleep is. Like, I didn't sleep enough hours, and that's why I'm always groggy until
and you see the
5 p.m.
consequences. You see the consequences straight away. You don't have to wait a week for a test or 3 months. With these at-home tests, including Vivoo and other ones, you see the results from what's happened. Like if you didn't sleep well, you see the results on it. Yep. If you didn't eat well, you see the results straight away, and you're like, "Ooh, okay, cool." That's kind of like my coach.
Yeah, it is a coach. I think it's fantastic, and a lot of people. I believe that all successful people in the world, and I love Oprah Winfrey. I've read many of her books. She always talks about you need a support network. It's an illusion that you're going to rise to the top alone. You can, but it's extremely, extremely painful. And I think that if you want to have optimal health, you need a support network. That's why it's great to have a dietitian, personal trainer. Like, investing back in your health is the best investment you can take, because it's going to give you the most long-lasting results. It's like eating good food or buying good quality fabric clothing or having good quality friends. It's going to give you results that are going to extend past today. And I think when you invest in your health and you have a support team like with Vivoo, having that reminder every day on your phone, the app will be like, it's time to drink more water, your results are low, or I think you might want to add more beans to your diet. Those really help, because we're going to find ourselves in situations where we're busy, or even if you're not busy, you need help in certain ways to help improve your health. I need help, and I'm a dietitian, so I love Vivoo, and I really encourage everyone. And what another really cool, just to continue on, Mihaela parameter is pH, and that can be so confusing, and I think Vivoo is really good at clarifying that. But I don't know if you've heard also about like acid, alkaline. Have you heard of those?
Yeah. Of course. We all have, haven't we?
Oh my God. It's like that. Is your diet acidic or alkaline? And it's so confusing, because it's like, wait, if I drink lemon are acidic, does that make my body acidic? So just a quick touch up on this, our pH is looking at a scale from literally 14 to 0, where 7 is neutral. It's a logarithmic scale. And our body's supposed to be functioning around 7, 7.34, 7.35. And in order to keep that neutral pH, our body is every day using different buffers to add, add hydrogen and oxygen atoms, ions. So basically, when you're having acidic foods such as lemon, what's happening is, or fruits and vegetables in general, any kind of plant-based food is more of an acidic pH. It's going to enter your body, and it's going to help alkalize. This is where it gets confusing. Sorry. I feel like those teachers were like really enunciating things. But like, I know. Alkalize by basically making your pH more basic, which is I know it's getting confusing. But basically, when you eat more acidic food, it's making your body more alkaline, because it's helping create more alkaline substances, byproducts, by metabolizing the acidic fruits and vegetables. And if you're eating a diet with a lot of meats, dairy, coffee, tea, more processed foods, it is definitely going to, those items are all basic in nature and they're alkaline in nature. So when they enter your body, it's going to make your body more acidic. So you're going to have more acidic byproducts. It's really not, you are what you eat. No, it's really you are what you digest. And when you digest...
I love that. I love that. You are what you digest.
Yes, you're completely what you digest. So when you are digesting lemons, you are more alkaline. When you're digesting meats, you are more acidic. And I mean, I believe, although I do follow a certain diet, I believe that everyone should follow the diet that feels the most natural to them. And if you do tend to have lots of meat and dairy and coffee, and I know they're delicious. I live in Turkey a lot. We have a lot of delicious cuisines here, both sides, plant-based and also animal-based. It's just important balance, right? Like, I really believe in balance. So you can have those foods items. It's just, that's why in cultures usually pair them with a lot of fruits and vegetables, because it helps to neutralize and decrease the amount of effect they put on your body. Now today, unfortunately, we have larger portions of certain food groups, so it can create more illness. But when you're using Vivoo, you monitor it. You're like, okay, wow, I realized by having a large salad with my steak last night, my pH is more neutral. It's not acidic. Or I replaced my cup of coffee with a green tea and my pH is better. Or I had a green smoothie and I'm now in an alkaline state, and that's fantastic. And research shows that our body loves being in an alkaline state. It's associated with longevity, associated with feelings of more serenity. It's more of a state for your body to flourish and also fight cancerous cells. So we really do encourage monitoring your pH for both today and long-term effects. So that's another parameter. We also look at ketones. So for we have a very large population of ketogenic diet followers. So if you do use, it's very rare to find ketone test strips that are also paired with other parameters, which is why a lot of our ketone users are really happy with our product, because usually ketone test strips are just ketones on their own. So if you do follow a ketogenic diet or you're interested in measuring your ketones, our app will show you what your ketone score is like. We also have protein, and protein, it sounds like we're going to tell you how much grams of protein you have in your diet to, build muscle. But this actually protein score we have, it's really measuring your kidney function and showing how much proteins you are deaminating, or if it's excess or too much of a load for your kidneys. So it's really kind of understanding how is, Mihaela's kidneys today. Is she eating too much protein, too little protein? Is she having too much stress? Because our kidneys are also really reflecting that part of our lifestyle. So those are our parameters.
That is insane. And you've just spoken about half an hour of all the parameters that they test, and you can just test it in literally 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Which is insane. And the benefits you get from it are out of the world. Before we go on and I share what mine were, who would be a person that would be like, I'm going to test these? Like, would it be athletes? Would it be mamas? Would it be dads? Would it be like just the normal individual that just wants to look after their health? Is someone who's got diabetes? Who does it benefit? Who would benefit from these?
That's a really good question, Mihaela. So I think everyone would benefit, and that's why we're offering all your users 30% discount code today, which is like really, really nice, because that will help anyone who wants to use it. And it's gonna be natural 30, natural 30, and they can use it at checkout. We'll put links below. But all people can benefit, just because, yes, if you're an athlete, your health and your body is how you're earning money. And same we don't realize it, but actually it's the same when you're working in a business or you're working at school as a teacher. Like your health is really helping you get up every day and be a functioning person and go to work and feel your best. So everyone should be prioritizing their wellness, and we really do say that everyone can benefit. Our only group that we don't work with, and this is just for, to be extra careful and comply with our FDA regulations, would be we don't work with pregnant women. And that's just because pregnancy is such a beautiful process, and it therefore changes many of your hormones every day. So although it could hypothetically be applicable because your hormones are changing and fluctuating so many days, as most of our friends who are pregnant will tell you, they feel nauseous one day, not the next, it wouldn't be the best test choice for them. However, besides that, we recommend it to all age groups besides children. So, if you're an elderly, that'd be fantastic. I think it's really important for elderly because, Mihaela, you were talking about how it's an at-home test, and a lot of the elderly population are at home, not just with COVID. I mean, now even more, but they spend a lot of their time inside, and it's actually really hard for them to even travel to the doctor on a regular basis. That's why we have a lot of at-home care. So Vivoo test strips are great at really monitoring your health every day. And I think that's really important for all age groups and especially the elderly. So, I give them to my parents as well. So if you are...
I love that. Yeah. Did I know or not know? You're like, just pee on these.
Yeah. I feel like with my parents, I'm like, I invest in my parents because I'm going to be taking care of them, obviously. So I think when you help improve their health, towards their senior years, you can really see them flourish. Sometimes I feel like, I don't know if you've seen this with your parents, they go through episodes where their health goes up so good for a while and so bad, and we are always yelling at them, oh, mom, oh, dad, do this, do that, and then we realize, oh, wait, we should actually be careful with ourselves too. So all age groups besides pregnant and pregnant females and also children are applicable and great users for our product.
Yeah, I love it because you can be an athlete and use it to ensure that you've got, your hydration and things on there. But you could also be the everyday office individual who wants to ensure that their business is running on point, and to ensure that they don't get brain fog if they're dehydrated, like you said earlier, being dehydrated, what it can do to us.
Yes.
Or it could be just, the individual that's just wanting to hack their health and trial different things and experiment. So it could literally be for anyone, and I love that.
Yeah. It's so beautiful you summarize it. Yeah, we don't realize that. I think we always think of athletes or, models, etc., that they're the ones who should really prioritize their health, but it's really everyone because we all need our body every day. So yeah, it's great.
We are our own models and we need to have optimal health.
Yes,
I mean, everyone has a reason why we're here. We all have a reason why we're here. We all have values and a purpose. And for us to achieve that, we need to think on point every day. We need to feel good. We need to want to achieve it. And to have our health on point lets us achieve whatever it is that we're here to achieve, right?
Yes. I love that. Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Let me share my results.
Yay!
How about that?
Please.
Honestly, so easy to use. And I'm not just saying that. I'm not like the most savvy person ever, but it was so easy to use. I literally just downloaded the app, right? And then I peed on a stick, right? Literally. And there was even a countdown on the app. So I didn't even have to keep an eye on how long. It literally has a countdown. So I did the test and it came, I was a bit scared because when I did it, I was like, I'm supposed to be healthy. I wonder how I am.
It's
like,
so hard, especially because it's so hard. That's also, by the way, we're not perfect, right?
No. And you will see from my results, I'm far from perfect. And that's good because tomorrow I know how to benefit myself. This was my first test ever.
Yes.
And I got, so it comes up with water. My water was 10 out of 10, which is optimal. Yay. My pH was 10 out of 10, which was optimal.
Great.
Protein was 10 out of 10.
Great.
Ketone was 10 out of 10.
Great.
Sodium was 10 out of 10. I know it's still sounding good, but wait for it, right? Oxidative stress was 10 out of 10. Vitamin C, 10 out of 10. My calcium was 5 out of 10.
Okay.
And my magnesium was 3 out of 10.
Okay.
So my overall score was 8.6 wellness. So as I can see, magnesium and calcium were my low ones to work on.
Yeah. That's really cool to hear, Mihaela. So, I mean, I feel like I forgot to mention oxidative stress. So that's basically inflammation.
Yeah.
So that's actually after hydration, my favorite one. So that's looking at how much inflammation your body is feeling. And, you know, for our listeners, inflammation, sorry to elaborate so much, but just because sometimes people don't know what inflammation is.
No, please do. We love this.
Inflammation is literally like phlegm. Think about flammability. It's fire in our body. So it's basically, that's why sometimes when you have very high inflammation, you'll see it in your face, or you'll have hot hands, or your parts of your body will feel hot to touch. Your body doesn't want to feel like that. Your body wants to feel at a natural, cool temperature. Like, you know, room temperature. And when you have that inflammation, it's actually showing that there is too much stress going on in your body. So usually that can be when you have too much stress, not sleeping enough, too much toxins in your diet, not enough vitamin C. So I'm wondering, what was your vitamin C score like again?
So vitamin C was 10 out of 10.
Okay. So that means that your diet is good. It's not your diet part, and your magnesium and your calcium, you said, were a little bit low.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes, 100%.
So it's stress, most likely, probably. If it's your magnesium.
Yeah, 100%. And I know that my body chews through magnesium like absolutely crazy. And I pulse my magnesium supplements.
Cool.
So I take them and then I don't, and I'm in the moment of not taking them.
That's good.
So it's interesting to see, okay, maybe I do need to go back on them, or look at even foods, not just supplements.
Yeah.
Look at foods that are high in magnesium and include them in my diet. And it's awesome. On the app, it even tells me like a device, like try almond milk. You know,
That's great. I love that.
A touch of magnesium, you know, like putting in pumpkin and flax seeds and you know, things like that. Which I think is absolutely amazing.
That's great. I'm really happy that you like that feature of the app. We're really happy to hear, yay. Because, you know, magnesium, yes, you can supplement. It's also present in so many foods, but also some people's bodies, like you were saying yourself, that's great you even know that, really need more magnesium than others. And especially with women, I always say that men are like the sun, right? And when are the moon, our needs for all minerals, vitamins, food groups change throughout the month, you know, because we have a lunar cycle. Yeah. So maybe, you know, like for instance, during my PMS phase, I always supplement extra. And then also with my menstrual phase. And then sometimes we don't need as much, also maybe based on season. And the fact that you know that, that's great that you know that about your body with magnesium. So it's fantastic.
Yeah, 100%. And my nervous system, I use my nervous system every single day. I'm actively using my brain, you know, walking and things like that. All of that also uses a lot of our magnesium.
It does. It's all,
So I got excited knowing that it's low. I know it sounds crazy, but I'm like, oh my gosh, it's amazing. Because if I implement the foods to increase my magnesium and calcium, I'm going to feel even better than I'm feeling now. Like, oh my gosh, is that even possible, you know?
That's great. So I love that you have that happy, positive outlook. That's you know, characteristic traits of a successful person. Usually when you see a situation, you're like, this news is not favorable. How can I change my outlook? You're saying, instead of, you know, being upset about this and being mean to yourself, which, please, everybody listening, don't ever do that about health. Think of this as a cool, like, cool, this is awesome. So, you know, I need to start this. Maybe this is a sign I should start doing this. And like, wow, I can even feel better, you know. So that's fantastic, you know, that you interpreted it like that. Well, I hope all our listeners will hear this and also feel this way. Yay.
Yeah. So when you do your test, anyone that's listening, when you do your test, I know there might be a little bit of maybe stage fright, a bit of anxiety to see what you're going to see. Yeah. But see it as a beneficial thing to improve. Even if all of them come back 2 out of 10 or something like that, your next test that you test after you've implemented those changes is going to go up, and then you're going to feel amazing, right?
Yeah. I love that. I love that. So everyone, be kind to your body, and we really focus on that, having a good relationship with your body, and don't be mean to your body by being like, why are you not giving me good results? You know, we need to take responsibility, and we need to also be like, it's okay that tomorrow is a new day and a new chance. Yeah.
And I love all the parameters that Vivoo tests. Are they going to add any new ones? Are they thinking about any new ones? Is there any research to add any ones? Or are they happy with the ones that are now? I mean, at the moment, the ones now are absolutely amazing. But I wanted to see what the future looks like.
Yeah, thank you. So, I mean, we have quite a bit of parameters, more than, you know, any other test out there for urine, but we want to add more. And we're just in the process of doing research because we get so many, like, for me, I was like, can you guys please test B12? Because I'm very big on B12 because being plant-based, I was like, please. And then the thing is with some of these, it takes so long to not only create the test, but really just the FDA approval. So we are expanding it, and we just created a new product with our parameters. It's actually a toilet seat, so you wouldn't have to even use the urine test. You would just, when you
get out.
No, I know. Seriously, I know. It's like
oh my gosh, send
rebounds.
it over now.
You would just sit down and it would just like literally test it, be like, and then it would come up on your phone and be like, Mihaela, you're hydrated today, great, and you're like, thank you very much.
This sounds like the future, like one of those future movies you're listening to. It's kind of, and the only thing it's missing is it preparing my food for me exactly according to what it's missing.
Oh my god!
So can a robot come into my kitchen and go, here's your quinoa salad with extra calcium?
I know.
Thank you very much.
I know. Oh my god, wouldn't that be so nice? I feel like when robots came out for the like house cleaning, everyone was just like, I love you. Like my friend, she loves her robot vacuum so much, even though it doesn't do it perfectly, she just loves it because it's her best friend. I think when we have like robot chefs in the kitchen, I mean, I just
but not just any robot chef. It needs to be connected to what my body needs and requires.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Come on.
When it does
business opportunity right here.
Yeah. Like if it's not using corn oil and it's using healthy olive oil when it's making my food, like yeah, that's like my new best friend. Yeah, like 100%.
Oh my god. Stop it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's awesome. A toilet seat and looking at adding new parameters.
Yes.
I mean, there is definitely a future for Vivoo expanding and doing these amazing things.
Yes, exactly. We are definitely big on expanding, staying up to date, expanding, and always growing. Exactly.
Yeah. So Melisa, now that you've spoken about all the perimeters and we're kind of coming to the end of the podcast, are you able to give the audience some practical tips to hit a 10 out of 10 for most of the parameters? I mean, what does that look like? I know sometimes there might be some things that might be low or something, but to hit 10 out of 10 for all the ones that you've mentioned, what does that look like? Would you have like 3 tips or practical tips or something that you can talk about?
That's a great, okay, so I think, unfortunately, there's no like, solution for everyone, as there is in life. It's like, how can I meet my soulmate? Or like, how can I find the perfect hair color? There is nothing. But what I would say is for nutrition for Vivoo, I would say testing every day helps you hit 10 out of 10 because your body is unique. And then you learn, for instance, like you already knew that you were, your body is sensitive to magnesium, which is fantastic because you're already like at level, like very, conscious of your diet. But a lot of individuals are not connected with their body. So when you start taking the Vivoo test strips every day, and that's why we're offering our users today a 30% discount code. They would just use natural30 at checkout at vivoo.io. You connect with your body because then you're like, okay, today I had more lentils, my magnesium is up. And then you say, okay, wait, today I slept more. I noticed that my oxidative stress is lower. You kind of reconnect. So I think testing every day is a way that you eventually reach 10 because you learn how your body is different because everyone's body is different. My body is very sensitive to sleep, for instance. Second, I would suggest that, we prioritize what nature has given us plenty and free. And nature has given us a lot of sleep for free and plentiful. So although we think of sleep as something like very kind of, especially like when you're, I don't know, when I was in my 20s, I was just like, I'll sleep when I get older. I used to say that all the time because I loved working and also partying and also making my own food and also working out at the gym. I just really didn't sleep a lot. Your body really, really takes a toll on. It takes a toll on your body. Your body really notices when you don't sleep enough. So making sure that you get enough sleep will help improve your results too, and that can be 7 to 9 hours. I require 9 hours. Some individuals require 7.
Yes, and I love that you said I require 9, and I love that you know that.
Yeah,
and there's no downside about it. It's not like there's individuals that are like sleeping on 6 hours, and I'm like, all right, here comes Alzheimer's to you.
Oh my
unless
god,
you've got some specific genes, which is so rare.
Yeah,
but yes, 9 hours should be the norm.
Oh my god, I'm from New York. I was so judgmental. I'm like 9 hours. Like, who has time for 9 hours? Like, what are you, like, princess? And then I was like, And then because I was like, 9 hours, that gives me less time to work out, less time to go party, less time to do my makeup, blah, blah, blah. And then as I got older, I realized that like that was all the actual party, was actually feeling good when I woke up and feeling rested and not feeling like weird throughout the day, or having my sugar drop low, or getting like emotional in the afternoon. For me, sleep really does affect me, and every individual is different. I have some friends who don't sleep a lot, their body, like since they were a child. So please, listeners, if you don't require 9 hours, don't feel bad. It's just my
100%.
body does. Everyone's body is different. Some people require 5 hours, and that's totally fine. Just look at the trends from childhood. The third is I would really prioritize water, and that's just because also I believe that's something that nature gave us plentiful and abundant. So that would be my third tip, is to make sure that you're hydrating, and not hydrating at one at a time. But I used to be someone who used to buy like 1.5 liters and be like trying to finish it quick. I would suggest you to unfortunately carry a bottle with you throughout the day. French woman from the early 80s started that trend, and I think that's that's where Evian came from, the whole carrying it. But it really does help when you drink water throughout the day. You can have your own reusable flask. I keep water all over my house. It probably my house looks like I've lost it, because I have like a bottle in the bathroom, even like after I take a shower. I have a cup next to my desk. I have a water pitcher in my kitchen, because I realized I used to snack a lot when I was cooking, but I was actually just dehydrated. So for me, my own way is that I keep water everywhere, in my handbag, at the office, So find what works for you. Some people love reminders on their phone. Some people love to have one water bottle the whole day and then remember to fill it. Everyone is different, but I would recommend find what keeps you hydrated. So for the 3 tips, to summarize, it's to test every day to reconnect and just have that connection with your body. Second would be to sleep enough according to your body. And then third would be to hydrate.
Yeah, I love the summary at the end.
Thanks.
And testing so you understand what fits you, because you're an individual. I love that tagline. Absolutely love it. And we all need water and sleep, 100% what suits your body. And by testing, you can kind of find out what it is. And then hopefully you become to the stage where you don't have to test anymore after you've done it for a few months or even however long, that you know and understand your body. But until then, let's get into a routine of figuring out what's happening and testing and figuring out how things are going in our body and understanding what's actually happening. Melisa, thank you so much. You shared such valuable information. I feel as if we could talk so much more about these parameters and research and insights, but maybe we can get you back on another stage so we can talk about some more specific things. But I love the detail that you gave us and the audience about Vivoo and how they can get healthier by using at-home urine tests. I mean, some individuals would have never even thought about this, or even thought about that it is available, possible to do this. And we're putting it out there and letting them know, hey, it's here and it's available for you.
Aw, thank you, Mihaela. You're such an amazing host. You're not only really easy to talk to, but I love your upbeat, positive attitude. So thank you for having us, and I would love to come on again. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm going to put all the information in the show notes, Melisa. I really do appreciate your time today. Thank you so much for joining us on Natural Podcast. And remember, the missing link between failure and success is your health. Information provided here is the opinion of Mihaela and is for information purposes only and does not constitute medical advice. It is not intended to provide medical advice or take the place of medical advice or any current treatment you're undertaking. Consult your own medical professionals for any medical issues that you may be having. This entire disclaimer also applies to any guests or contributors to the Natural Health Podcast. It is advised that you consult your doctor or healthcare professional in relation to any health concerns you may be having. Mihaela does not take responsibility for any health consequences which occur from a person listening, viewing, or reading this content. Under no circumstances shall the Natural Podcast, Mihaela, any guests or contributors to the Natural Podcast, or any employees, associates, or affiliates of Mihaela be responsible for damages arising from the information provided on the Natural Podcast. By listening to this podcast, you agree not to use this podcast as medical advice to treat any medical conditions in either yourself or others. Please note, if you're taking prescription, do not stop your medication or start a new protocol, including but not limited to supplements, diet, lifestyle changes without consulting a doctor or healthcare professional. If you or any person has a medical concern, you should consult with your healthcare provider or seek other professional medical advice. advice. Never disregard professional medical advice or delay in seeking it because of something that you have read or heard on the Natural Health podcast or in any linked materials. If you think you may have a medical emergency, call your doctor or emergency services immediately. Neither Mihaela agrees nor the publisher of this content takes responsibility for the possible health consequences of any person or persons reading or listening or following the information in educational content.